Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2013 ITRC Super Senior Classic. This is Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith live from the ITRC here at the International Bowling Campus in Arlington, Texas. We've got the second round of qualifying here at this first annual event going on right now. We had 6 games yesterday, 6 more games today, and then we'll have a cut to the cashers round for tomorrow, so looking forward to that. We'll be here all day long. This is game 1 here in round number 2, so appreciate everybody joining us, and we'll be here throughout the day, some special guests, and just an opportunity to watch the bowling without having to listen to us talk. So thanks again, and if you have any questions for us, please drop those in the chat room, and we'll make sure to get you all the answers we can as the day progresses here at the 2013 ITRC Super Senior Classic.
It's a fantastic introduction, Matt. Welcome, everybody. After today, all competitors did return for round 2 of competition. But after today, only 8 will be left. After that, we'll have 4 additional games tomorrow, cutting to the top 5 for the stepladder finals, which will be seen live on Bowl TV. Right now, we still got a lot of bowling to do. Game 1 of 6. We'll get the chance to see everybody competing on our live stream pairs here. We're using 14 lanes, bowling 6 games, so everyone will have the chance to at least be on the live stream pair for 1 game. So if you see your favorite bowler or know your favorite bowlers participating, be sure to check in today and get to watch them right here live on Bowl TV.
So Aaron, you said we're using 14 lanes in this very intimate International Training and Research Center here at the IBC. It is the home of Team USA and Junior Team USA, and the special home to events like the Super Senior Classic. We just had the USBC Senior Queens here this past week as well. Congrats to Lucy Sandelin on her second Senior Queens title. But the best senior players in the world coming to town again. Just 14 lanes here. There's 2 more lanes on the other side of the wall, and that's in the research area of the Training and Research Center. So all bowling balls, bowling pins, lane oils, everything gets tested on that side of the wall. It's very super secret research center. So anything you see with the USBC stamp of approval on it, anything used in certified competition, has been through these doors as well. This is a top-notch facility. Mr. Smith, relatively new to the International Bowling Campus, and some of the features here, but there's cameras throughout this venue. The opportunity to collect different views while you're out there bowling. All kinds of great technology put to use by the coaches of Team USA. But a big misconception is that you have to be an elite player to come and train at the ITRC. That is completely false, Mr. Smith.
Very true. It's open for practice sessions to anybody here in the greater Dallas-Fort Worth area. And for a little extra, you can work with some of the best coaches in the world.
Well, we have players come in from, as you said, all over. Collegiate teams and international teams. We had Latin Week not too long ago. Teams from Central America were in town to take advantage of everything and the great coaches here.
Matt, I see in the chat room we had a question about the oil pattern we're using for the Super Senior Classic. It's a 41-foot pattern. And if you actually want to see the graph, go to bowl.com/supersenior, click on information. You can pull it up right there.
And as Mr. Pearson explained yesterday, I believe it is sport compliant, which means, of course, it is a little more challenging than your typical house condition. The oil ratio must be within 3 to 1, meaning 3 times more oil in the middle of the lane to the outside, whereas a typical house job might be 10, 12, or even 15 to 1 to where you'll have plenty of hold in the middle and hook to the outside, giving you the opportunity to miss to the right. The ball's going to hook back. If you miss in, it's going to hold pocket. But on a sport condition, shot making certainly at a premium here, and spare shooting very important as well. You don't have that miss room to the right or the left, so you really have to be accurate. And we saw some great bowling yesterday. An up-and-comer on the senior tour. He's been around for a while, the Las Vegas area. We've seen him at the Bowlers Journal Championships. Won a title not too long ago. But Aaron's got the standings pulled up after day one. Again, they're going to bowl 6 games today to go along with 6 games from yesterday. And then we'll make a cut to the top
8 players.
And there you have it. Aaron Smith's going to give you a rundown of yesterday's first round standings.
All right, our leader after one, PBA 50 Tour titleist Kerry Painter. He's actually going to be out of Fairbanks, Alaska. I'm assuming he's going to be moving up that way, so best of luck to Kerry as he heads up north. But Kerry got out of the gates fantastically yesterday, shooting 781, ran into some trouble in game 4 with a 157, but bounced back to maintain the lead. 1387 for his 6 games. It's a 231 average. In second, Willie Wells out of Plano, Texas, sitting at 1378. And sitting in third, and right now he's on lane number 9. Might be walking into your screen in a second there. 2-time PBA titleist Pete McCordick out of Katy, Texas. 6-game total of 1362, equivalent to a 227 average. Currently coming into today, Bill McCorkle out of Westerville, Ohio, was the cut line in 8th position with a 6-game total of 1229. So there's a lot of scores between his 1229 and 1173 is all the way down in 19th place, USBC Hall of Famer Gary Dickinson. So all those guys certainly within reach of the number to move on to tomorrow's cashers round. And you talked about just the difficulty of a sport pattern and how that area can change so quickly. And Kerry made a big move. After shooting 289 on lanes 1 and 2, he moved way over to 13 and 14. Came back with that 157. And he said, you know, it's shots such as this, you can't get complacent on it. You have to stay on it. You can't breeze through these conditions. You got to make sure you're on top of your game, and he bounced back nicely.
Well, many of these guys, very familiar names on the PBA Tour, as you mentioned, years ago, before our time even. And of course, on the senior tour now, and the great SASPA events that go on around the Southwest as well. And of course at the Open Championship, so some familiar faces that we've seen out there in our time. We do spend a lot of time every year, half the year actually, at those events, and we get to see a lot of the greats, the all-time greats. The McCordick's Bowl or they have bowl with Bill Lillard and his group, USBC Hall of Famer, our active pinfall leader. A lot of history, a lot of great stories, no doubt, if you get a chance to sit down and talk to some of these guys, you know, about the old days, about how things have changed a little bit, how they're still relevant, and the opportunity for us to give them an event like this, the first annual Super Senior Classic, and a lot of them are familiar with the Senior Masters. And now a chance for the older age bracket to get involved, and what a great facility to do that in.
All right, we're about halfway through game number 1 here. The current setup, we won't have scoreboards up, but we will get the leaderboard up after they update, usually after game 1.
Again, as Aaron mentioned, if you want details on this event, go to bowl.com/supersenior, and all of the facts, the schedule don't forget to read Aaron's recap of day 1. Sat down with Kerry Painter. Got all the keys to success. So if anybody else read that today, you'll see some great scores. Tournament manager Tim Robin walking by.
A happy camper indeed, the Red Sox victory last night. Stepping up on lane 10 right now. We have a regular on the PBA 50 Tour, Don Blatchford out of Santa Monica, California.
Aaron definitely did his homework for this event. No event is too small for Mr. Smith.
Coming into today, Don was sitting in 7th at plus 36. So far, he's off to a pretty good start. He's spared in the first, hasn't missed since. He's stepping up in the 6th.
And for those of you new to the live streaming scene, again, this is Matt Cannizzaro live at the ITRC here in Arlington, Texas, alongside Aaron Smith. Aaron has been with us since 2009 in a limited capacity at the Open and Women's Championships, and he almost covered the Senior Championships back in 2009. And now he'll be doing some full-time work with us here at the IBC and getting the hang of the whole live streaming gig and all that USBC has to offer. And then we'll be back in Reno not too long from now. We'll have plenty of time over the next 2 days to talk about what's happening there, as we'll get ready to head there in February for the 2014 Open Championships. A lot of opportunity for exposure to new events. Again, we had the Senior Queens here this past week, now the Super Senior Classic, and we'll have a couple of collegiate events on the live streaming schedule in the next few months for us before we head out. If you'd like to check that out, just go to bowl.com and check out the bottom right of the main page, and you'll have the whole live stream schedule. Lucas Wiseman, soon to be headed to Russia for the Kubica AMF World Cup. He'll be with Team USA members John Zerbinski and Danielle McEwen, our Team USA Trials champions. So a lot of great things, a good variety. So there's something for everybody here on our Bowl TV.
It's a 10 pin by Bill Henson. Bill's actually a USBC silver coach and the head bowling coach over at Ohio State University. So hopefully a few Buckeyes are tuning in to cheer on Bill today.
The alma mater for World Cup champion Bill Hoffman. I got facts too, guy.
Impressive.
A few good storylines this week. The McCordick brothers turned 60 yesterday, just in time. Of course, the Super Senior Classic open to USBC members age 60 and older by the start of competition. So they squeaked in under the wire, and here they are. Had a great day yesterday. Very capable of making some noise here at the ITRC this week.
We already mentioned that Pete was sitting in 3rd after day 1. Paul not too far behind in 5th. Plus 77. We're seeing Pete right now. We'll see Paul later on in the day. He's currently over on 1 and 2, it looks like.
We got one lefty, one righty.
How does that happen?
It's science, sir.
In case you're wondering, competitors move one pair to the right and or left after each game. If you start on the right lane, you move right. On the left lane, you move left.
That's fancy.
That's what we do here, sir. we have Pete stepping up on lane number 10 here. He started the game off with a 3-bagger, followed up with 9 spare, strike, 9 spare.
Do appreciate everybody joining us today. If you are joining us late, don't be late next time. We sent the word out via Twitter earlier, so if you log on to twitter.com and follow USBC, then you'll know when everything's happening on the lanes and in the industry. All of the great headlines go out via Twitter. Don't want you to miss any of the action.
Don Blatchford mixes him up. He's still striking. 6 strikes in a row. Here's Howie Partel up on lane 10. That's a good looking shot. All 10 down for Howie. For you folks watching at home, if you don't see the bowler you'd like to follow on our feature pair right now, they will make their way to either 9 and 10 or 11 and 12 at some point today. But if you want to follow them with up-to-date results, click on or go to bowl.com/supersenior. Go to 2013 results, and you can go to live scoring and see every pair of lanes going here at the ITRC. So right now I'm looking at lanes 1, seeing how Paul McCordick's doing. Spare, 3-bagger spare, so Paul and Pete 60 in today, doing all right.
So technically make them the youngsters in the crowd. Automatically. There's the kids out here at the Super Senior Classic.
And a 9-pin for Henson. Looks like that Storm Frantic is working a little too hard there. Mark Estes up on lane 11. Came out of the gates pretty strong yesterday with the 255. He was just outside the cut after day 1. He's sitting in 9th. Struggled a little bit down the stretch. But certainly still in this plus 24.
We're just halfway there. A lot of games left.
All right, stepping up on lane 9 in the 9th frame, Don Blatchford looking for 8 in a row. And the ring dime. Not to be confused with the flat dime that Matt Cannizzaro enjoys calling out.
It's trademark stuff right there.
I gave you credit.
Talk about the challenge of sport bowling. There's a couple of interesting leaves on 11, 12, and an unfortunate break for Willie Wells on 13. Very easy to miss the head pin.
The 7-10, I didn't see how Willie left it. We saw quite a few with the senior queens earlier in the week. Anne-Marie Dugan had a very tough one in the 10th. Might have been the 9th frame again in her match against Tish Johnson to determine the #1 seed for the event. Lucy Sandlin, the eventual champion, had a few throughout match play as well. Blatchford able to bounce back in the 10th. Still has 2 60s out there.
So game 1 nearly in the books here. Game 7 technically. We'll have the updated standings as soon as they're available with our fancy new live stream graphics and such.
For you folks watching at home with a good connection, you can actually view in HD. Click on the gear at the bottom right of your screen. You can select 720 HD. And we've got a lot of good feedback on that during the Senior Queens. So hopefully makes it an even better show beyond Matt and I's commentary as well. So
there was a nice joke at our meeting yesterday about premium subscriptions to the USBC live streaming for the Open Championships. About paying, what was it, $5 to watch or $1 to watch without commentary, so you didn't have to listen to us, something to that effect. Always the jokesters. A lot of great bowling action going on this week. The World Series of Bowling going strong in Las Vegas. Great coverage there. On the extra frame, they've got the best overall players in the world. We've got the best super seniors around. So if you're a bowling fan, just all day coverage.
all right, Don unable to get the spare, but he'll still be at 258. Great way to jump out here early. Game 1 of round 2 at the ITRC Super Senior Classic. Don was at plus 36 coming into this game. So that will go to plus 94, I believe.
It's a really good way to start the day. Pick up some sticks. First round leader, Kerry Painter, possible 216. He's one pair to our left. He's stepping up into 10th frame now, working on a strike.
Looks like we won't see Kerry until he'll be moving left. So we actually won't see Kerry until our final game today. So we'll have to follow him on the live scoring feature. I know Kerry had a few folks back home watching. He was waving, having a good time. And his scores reflected that as well, so.
Not so sure he's having a good time right now. Leaves the 3-pin. Possible 196 now here in the opener. Willie Wells was right behind him coming into today. Willie with a possible 202. So if he can double here in the 10th, he'll pick up a few sticks.
I think Pete McCordick will be our leader after 7, though. He's already in the 250s. This is his fill ball right now for 259. He got all of that one.
The youngsters beating up on the field.
These crazy kids. We'll actually have Pete on for our next game as well. He's on the right lane, so he'll be moving to 11 and 12. So we'll get to see him as he continues on. But 259, Pete McCordick. I believe that'll take him to plus 221. It's scary doing math from on the fly, Matt.
The old-fashioned way without a calculator.
It's frightening.
See, nobody's gonna know if you're wrong or right at this point, so.
Well, right now, correct, but soon they can check on bowl.com, see the round 2 results as they update. Once again, for all information about the Super Senior Classic, go to bowl.com/Super Senior. Henson finishes up with 178. Howie Partel up in the 10th. He covered this 124 and strike out for 191. Mark Estes just finishing up on lane 11, finishes with 224. As lanes finish up, they'll actually shut off the lane so they can transfer all the scores over to the next pair. Just about done with game number 1. A few folks still in the 10th frame. Our leader after day 1, Kerry Painter, finishes with 195. Drop a few pins there, but still in good shape early on here. as we switch pairs. A cool opportunity for competitors this week. For those who don't advance to the cashier's round tomorrow morning, there's a free classroom clinic being offered by Team USA for those folks. So not only do they get to compete in the home of Team USA, they get some training and tips from those who coach the best in the world. We will cut to the top 8 scores for 12 games after today's qualifying round. And after 4 more games, the top 5 will make the step-ladder finals. That will be seen live right here on Bull TV.
All right, so game 2 underway here at the 2013 ITRC Super Senior Classic. Round 2 of qualifying. 6 games yesterday, 6 games today. This is Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith, team captain of CMB Lounge, and public relations coordinator here at USBC now. So glad to be here at the International Training and Research Center on the International Bowling Campus in Arlington, Texas. If you haven't been here, come check it out. You don't have to be an elite player to come and get coaching from the best in the world. Team USA trains here. The coaches are here full time. So a lot of great half-day and full-day packages available for you to come out and bowl on any lane condition you'd like. They'll give you the best technology and the best advice in the business, so come on out. Aaron, you mentioned Eric Pearson, who's going to come by and chat with us today. He's helping run this event. Also runs the USBC Women's Championships. Does lanes for all of our big USBC tournaments. It's pretty much everywhere. I know he's looking forward for the chance to talk about this event and the recent Senior Queens and everything else coming up on the USBC menu. So hopefully we'll have him here.
I sent him a message, told him whenever he could get away from his busy schedule, come on down and talk a little bit. I know I was talking with him last night a little bit. He's ready to talk a little bit about what's going on the lanes, what to expect with this 41-foot oil pattern.
Eric's a very versatile guy. He can talk.
And talk?
Oil, yes, for sure. He can talk lanes and oil and lane machines, and then transition into, again, all of the great events that he's a part of. And already, believe it or not, the Senior Queens just ended 2 days ago, and we're already talking about registration for the 2014 Senior Queens. And that's going to be headed back to the same spot as the regular Queens. It's going to be the last week in June in Reno, Nevada. Reno is going to be the place to be in 2014 if you're a competitive bowler or a bowling fan. Certainly a lot of great opportunities to compete and win prize money with one reasonably priced plane ticket. Come on out. The 2014 USBC Open and Women's Championships both being held in Reno. The Open will be at the National Bowling Stadium. The WC across town at the Reno Sparks Convention Center again on 44 specially constructed lanes. A fantastic venue, one of a kind even. And and really showcases bowling as a sporting event. So if you missed that in 2013, come check it out. If you're a top female competitor, the USBC Queens will be there June 27th to July 3rd at the National Bowling Stadium. So your opportunity to bowl 3 great events in one trip. We also have some side events. The Storm Bowlers Journal Championships, presented by USBC, will return to the NBS in 2014. So divisions and competition for everybody there. And you can find out all kinds of great information about our USBC events on bowl.com. And if you're interested in reasonably priced travel and hotel accommodations, go to mybowlingvacation.com and get a great deal to travel to any USBC event.
All right, we're in frame 2 of game 2 here. And in a few moments, we'll get you a look at the standings. Once again, bowlers will be competing 12 games total over the course of 2 days, with the top 8 advancing to Friday morning's Cashers round.
There's your standings through 7 games here at the 2013 ITRC Super Senior Classic. The youngster McCordick on top of the standings here. 28 competitors this week.
Hey, I was right, 221. Mark Estes moves into the 8th spot at plus 48. He's got some distance between him and the field now. And on lane 11, there's a nice shot by Howard Clark. Mixing all 10 up there with what appears to be the Ebonite champion.
Aaron, this gentleman stepping up on lane 10 right now. I'm gonna probably say his name all sorts of wrong, but it's Joseph Wawioli. Stopped by earlier today to ask a few questions about our live stream setup. He's new to this whole super competitive operations, and he's just here to get the experience. A little bit further down in the standings, perhaps, than he might want to be, but taking the advantage of the chance to be here. Georgetown, Texas, not too far away in the Austin area. He came all this way and having a good time and curious about being on live TV, so to speak, here on Bowl TV. So we're glad to have him and more bowlers like him who take advantage of great events like this and the chance to compete and measure yourself against some of the best. Full standings after 7 games. There's your split screen. Bowling action on the left, scores on the right. Get back to the bowling action. We'll have scores again for you after game 2 today in the second round of qualifying. Looks like we have one lady in the field as well, Jeannie Brito. This event open to all players age 60 and older. Our associate, Terry Bigham, could have been here as well, but he's out and about today, saving the world of bowling. Up on lane 11. He started with 259 today to move into the top spot. He's got strike spare double, make that 3 in a row. Bagger for Howie Partel. Generally with sport bowling lane conditions, they tend to play a little bit tougher, I think, at the start. And as they break down a little bit of extra room created out there, get a little more comfortable, get loose, and the pins will fall. So I have a feeling the scores are gonna go up a little bit throughout the day. Not always the case.
Well, it's a big, very dependent on how folks are playing the lanes, and by changing games or changing pairs every game, definitely got to take advantage of those first few frames, make sure they don't slip away. And I guess you just kind of got to hope that that your guess is good.
Well, certainly the way the lanes are played, the equipment that's thrown, all factors as you battle the invisible defense. The oil moves around. Some folks starting to get comfortable. A lot of strikes on the board here in game number 2 today. Bill McCorkle on lane 8 right now, working on a 4-bagger, started with a spare. You'll see him on the left side of your screen. 5 in a row.
Hill's actually sitting at 9th right now. He was the cut line coming into today. Struggled a little bit in game 1, along with Mark Estes having a big opener. So he's looking to get back in the number. We'll keep you updated throughout the day. Pete McCordick well in the number. He's currently our tournament leader. Throwing bombs.
Pete's regular day job, runs the PBA Southwest region. Not this week. Lacing them up here against the best super senior players around from as far as Alaska to as nearby as Plano, Texas.
Howie Partel looking for a 5-bagger. Great shot by Howie there. He's lingering right around that cut line as well, +2. Finds himself sitting in 10th.
Today is Halloween, Aaron Smith. We are dressed up. We're in costume. We are pretending to be the A-Team, live streaming. We got the headsets on. It almost looks like we know what we're doing.
Almost. Keyword there.
Previous leader Kerry Painter also having a little easier time here in game number 2. He's got strikes in 4 of the first 6 frames. Trying to get back to the top spot. McCordick not letting up. Working on 4 in a row, trying to make it 5. Stay ahead of the field. He's already up by 40. Now he's just rubbing it in a little bit.
As we mentioned earlier, Pete, a 2-time titleist on the PBA Tour. He had a very famous 300 as well. The 4th ever televised final. There's been 22 total in the history of the PBA. He's part of a very exclusive club. That shot wide for Howie Partel. He was working on a 5-bagger, leaving the washout. This 41-foot oil pattern. Not let you get back from there. unable to keep the string of strikes going. Going through the nose, leaving 3-6. Still has 250s out there once again.
Aaron, my first opportunity to talk to the McCordick brothers was back in 2006 in Corpus Christi. They had a fantastic doubles effort. They actually took the lead at one point, 33 years after finishing second in regular doubles.
I remember seeing a picture of that in the old bowling magazine. The McCordick and McCordick, when they used to have to put the letters in manually, then they would put it up on the scoreboard, and everyone would hold on to the picture, or hold on to the their nameplate, if you will.
Yeah, they came up just short in 1973, and long-time teammates with, again, Bill Lillard, as we said, so a lot of history there. Still, a lifetime of bowling, and still got it.
Paul's currently on 3 and 4. 7 out of 8 strikes so far here in game 2. 279 still out there. Paul dropped to 6th after game number 1. 270s won't hurt here. Plus 48 currently the number to advance to Friday's Cashers round. That's another great shot by Pete there. Sets up the 9th frame. 258 still out there.
Once again, you're watching the 2013 ITRC Super Senior Classic here at the International Training and Research Center, the International Bowling Campus in Arlington, Texas. It's Matt Cannizzaro and Aaron Smith. How about that?
There's a strike on lane 10 for John Parfait. Stepping up now on 10, Mike Cristofani. Paul McCordick actually stepping up now with the 10th frame, still has 279 going. The left-handed McCordick brother. And as we speak of left-handers, it sounds like Eric Pearson will be ready to join us in game number 3. Great shot by Paul there, still striking. We'll actually see Paul on for the last 2 games of our live stream. He'll be on 9 and 10 on Game 5, 11 and 12 for the finale in Game 6. So you get both the McCordick brothers at the bookends.
Talked about Bill McCorkle trying to make a move out of the 9th place, and a lot of strikes on the board here in game number 2, but 2 single pin misses. Again, the strikes will come, but on these sport bowling lane conditions, fair is very important. Well, very important on any lane condition.
Covers up the 10 pin on lane number 9. He's got a chance to step up in the 10th. Toss 237 out there.
Big crowd on hand here at the ITRC. We've got the bleachers out, nearly full. A lot of supporters. If you're in the area, please come on by, check it out. We'll make room for you. 4 more games today. And we'll have it cut the cashers round. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning for more Super Senior action.
Paul McCordick finishes up game 2, 268. Nice game there. Brother Pete stepping up on lane 12. Still has 258 out there. Here's his first shot of the 10th. Never a doubt. Looks like Pete is going to extend his lead. Kerry Painter can max out at 227 this game. Kerry was 39 pins behind Pete after 7. A double in the 10th. Pete McCordick, back-to-back 250 games to kick off day 2 here at the Super Senior Classic. Your tournament leader. Strike here on the fill ball, I believe he'll be up to plus 279. Pete finishes 257. So make that plus 278 for the event. Up on lane 10, Charles Nybert Just finishing up his 10th frame. He can strike for 201.
Corey, give you some advice to Howard Clark. Pretty simple. If you're gonna get better, you gotta bowl tournaments like this. You gotta challenge yourself against the best and on the most challenging conditions.
Stepping up on lane 12. Be able to see him in a second. Struck on his first shot in the 10th, looking for a double. Chance to get to into the 230s. Howie was sitting in 10th after game 1 here today, so looking to make that top 8. That runs a little bit high, leaves 3.6. He'll put the conversion to be at 221.
Just like that, game 2 in the books here. Second round of qualifying at the 2013 ITRC Super Senior Classic.
All right, once again, we'll shut the lanes off, get everyone moved. Bowlers on the right, move one lane to the right, to the left. They go to the left. How about that? We'll get you a recap of standings after 8 total games here, once they become available. If you want to find that on your own, go to bowl.com/supersenior. 2013 results will have all the information you need. Whether you want to follow lane by lane scoring, check out scores after day 1 of qualifying, or how everyone's sitting today as well. So once again, that's bowl.com/supersenior. And we have an almost senior making his way over to the booth. The always dapper Eric Pearson.
I'm gonna step out. I'm gonna let Aaron Smith handle this business. Nothing like listening to these two having conversations, so I'll be back. Maybe. Eric's a talker. Enjoy.
All right, Matt, thank you again.
One lefty to another.
Just trading them off.
Matt's leaving.
Matt Canizaro will be stepping out. And just folks, welcome in Eric Pearson. Eric, how you doing this fine morning in Arlington, Texas?
It's a nice day out there. Got rid of the rain.
Hold on a sec, Eric. All right, try again.
How's it going? Is that better?
Much better.
Yeah, we got rid of the rain. It's a nice sunny day out there for a change. So.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
It's looking nice. How's it going over here?
It's good if your last name's McCordick. How about that?
Oh.
Paul
okay.
and Pete both bowling very well. We just had Pete on our feature pair go back-to-back 250s. He's our tournament leader.
He's made a little run, huh? What's the number looking like?
After one game, it was plus 48. And we'll see.
I guess I underestimated here. We had a little. The staff here in the building all wrote down our guess for the cut number for 8th place, and I actually guessed the lowest number. And, I was looking good yesterday, but it looks like it's going up here because it's already above the number I predicted for 8th place for all 12 games. So I think I predicted plus 42. Obviously, they're coming back together. They got 6 games on this yesterday, and they're back today, and they're bowling as well, if not better. So I'm assuming some guys made adjustments, whether it was surface or just change the balls, whatever, just to do something different. But,
Looks like Mark Estes at plus 62, so it's gone up even more. Bill McCorkle sitting in 9th at plus 28. Howie Partel plus 23 or 8, it looked like. I'll get you the scoreboard here in a second. Just like that, we'll have the standings on your right. Live action on 9, 10, 11, 12 here at the ITRC on the left. Once again, we are in game 3 of qualifying here at the Super Senior Classic. This is the second day of competition.
yeah, kind of unique situation with the McCorticks. I don't know if you mentioned it yesterday, but Super Senior Classic, 60 and above, and they had their 60th birthday yesterday.
Yes, we mentioned
So
that already.
They just snuck in, and all the other bowlers said they're not sure if that's good or bad. Good side is it was 2 more entries, which allowed us to make the decision to take 8 bowlers for the cashers round. And on the downside, 2 of the better bowlers turning 60 and probably guaranteeing themselves 2 of the cashing spots. So
Well, it is all about timing it now. I guess they're considered the youngsters of the group.
no, it's a great field. We watched the practice session yesterday and thought, hey, this is going to be a nice event. I didn't think scores maybe get this high, but they are bowling on a sport condition, and it's playing out fairly well.
Now, what was the intent with the pattern that you guys ended up choosing for this week?
Nothing. No, not a lot of thought. Just we had talked about if all these guys had bowled in the senior masters. Originally, one of our criteria was you had to bowl in the senior masters, and then we just opened it up. Entries weren't coming in real quick, but based on the fact that the majority of these people bowled a senior masters, which is a sport condition, we kind of went along with that premise that we'd keep it that way, and which is a good thing. Most of the bowlers said yesterday that they would like it to be that way. We'll see what they think after the event and how good the scores are, but knowing that the ITRC kind of plays on the tighter side here, at least that's what I hear from all the staff. We came out here and just threw out a couple patterns and had a couple people bowl on them just to kind of take a look at it, and decided we could get plenty of friction out here, even keeping it sport. And thought they'd be fairly challenging, for the level of the competition that we have. And then the ITRC switched to putting fire in their lane machine here, knowing it does play a little bit tighter here with the 2 new oils from Kegel. We went with the fire, knowing that they would hook a little bit more. So they are playing out very well. I haven't watched a whole lot of ball reaction. So you guys have been sitting here watching bowling. I've been sitting doing emails and some other work.
Well, we know you're always working hard here when you do join us in Arlington, Texas.
Haven't really heard any feedback about the condition from the bowlers. We had a fairly high-scoring senior queens. Kind of the same thought process there. We never do a sport condition for senior queens. Normally it's at the women's championship, so we use whatever pattern that is, which usually falls in a blue range, or maybe higher, easier blue pattern, or on the lower side of a white pattern, so a 5-to-1 ratio. It might have taped out at 5.5, which would put it into a white pattern, but right on that borderline of blue to white. And we just feel that that's a good combination for those bowlers, and then for these guys, we go another step down and try to keep it right around the sport condition with some hook, and that looks pretty good. I think overall it's 41 feet, 24 mils, and it tapes out just right around 3-to-1. So down lane was a little bit flatter, so we felt like those were good numbers. And with the 6-game block, hopefully they would transition a little bit. We didn't want to just put something out there and have it be free for all. So
that was one of the things in talking to our day one leader, Kerry Painter, finishing his 3rd game yesterday on 1 and 2, the front 10, going 289, moving over to 13 and 14 up against the wall, dropping down into the 150s.
Really?
And Kerry prefers patterns with a little more oil, a little longer patterns, but he, and this point Matt and I made earlier, that you can't get complacent on these kind of shots.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call it a longer pattern. I did read that. To me, a long pattern is 43, 44, 45, but I think what he meant was a little bit on the longer side of a medium. It's not 40, 39, 38. So the ability to move a little bit left and maybe find some push later in the day is better if it is a little bit longer. We just noticed with the way the lanes play here at the ITRC, for whatever reason, they say when they tend to put out sport patterns or WTBA event stuff, the lanes definitely play very true. They play tough. They hook in the middle. They kind of hang when you get the ball wide. So we felt like a lot of times thinking, well, if the lanes play tight, well, then you need to go shorter and let them hook. Well, when you do that and you go shorter, it just means the middles are going to hook. So if the ball still hangs on the outside and the middles hook, what are the bowlers going to do? They're going to move left. So by going shorter, it doesn't really make the bowlers move right. So we thought, let's go the opposite direction. If the bowlers feel like a sport condition is going to play tricky here, then let's go longer. Let's actually give them, more volume down the lane, just not a lot, but that way they'll be able to keep their angles more closed down instead of, they're hooking, I'm going to have to move left and throw the ball to the right, in which case, guess what? You see the hang again. So we did a couple different things. We went shorter on a pattern, and we went a little bit longer. And when we saw what we liked on the longer pattern, I think it was 42 originally, we decided to back that off a foot and then take the drop brush feature and back that off a couple feet, just to give them a little more friction, because we had gone longer overall with the pattern. Give them that little bit of friction within the pattern itself by not having a lot of volume down at the back end of the pattern. So I don't know, I haven't watched a whole lot of bowling here. Are the angles? I'm assuming they're all on the track. They're between 10 and 15.
Right around there, that's what we've seen early on here.
It just seems like the more you get squared up here around 10, in that track area, they're going a little bit straighter. That's when you kind of see real easy to get the ball wide, have it hang a little bit, leave a corner pin. But then if you tug it from that same angle because you're going up the lane, well, then the ball goes left. So that's more of what I would expect right there on lane 10. I couldn't tell exactly, but looked like maybe 13 board.
Well, we'll get a look at Bill McCorkle here. Bill's got the front 4. He's actually he finds himself in 9th place currently at plus 28. Once again, the cut number right now, plus 62. We're taking the top 8 to tomorrow's cashier's round. So Bill looking for a big game here, trying to catch Mark Estes and the rest of the field ahead of him. Looks like Bill's playing him more directly. A few shots we've seen already.
There's a lot of solid players here. I mean, obviously a lot of familiar faces that we see at the Senior Masters. And a few new faces. So it's just wanted to run this event, get something off the ground, see how it went. Oh, tough. Tight shot, 4-9. Looked like he might have got around that ball a little bit early. I'm not sure if that's his normal release, but looked like he kind of got around it and on top of it, and it went early.
Not sure if it was the 4th frame or the last time he was up on 10. He had a trip 4, almost a trip 4-7. It was very high, so. Over on 14, we see Pete McCordick actually missed the head pin right. Leaving a washout. Pete's another one. He's been predominantly in the track area here early going. Bill unable to convert, makes a nice run at it.
Yeah, I figured even if the cut were to get to, like, say, a 60 over or so, I mean, that's still only 205 a game, right? So, you know, somewhere between 205 to 210 a game is a good number. What do we have at the Senior Masters this year? It's a little low on the lower side, wasn't it?
Well, we can look that up here.
I know 2 years ago it was like 140 over, about a 210 average. And we had gone to the ice oil this year at some point. I figured they'd be a little tougher, they'd hold up longer. We did narrow the oil a little bit there just to kind of compensate for the ice. But we only ended up with 2 and 3 bowlers on a pair. The way we split up the squads, we still stayed with the 2 squads, and the 2s and 3s on a pair caused the condition to hold up a very long time. So you had very little transition, and therefore never really an opportunity for the lane to blow open at all and create a higher scoring pace. I want to say the cut was like 15 over, 14 or 15.
That's what it looks like.
For 64th.
Don Jackson plus 15, so 201 average.
201, so, you know, that doesn't sound like a big difference, but, you know, 210 to 201, you know, over the course of 15 games, that's a lot. You know, even a handful of pins. That's why it's so hard to figure out what a number might be. You know, when you're competing, just come out and get all you can get. So yeah, hopefully this will turn out nice. We'll have a lot of good players here. They'll take the top 8, have a cashers round tomorrow. We just narrowed that down to 4 games. And then the top 5 are in the step ladder.
That's what I've been told.
All right. When we originally did this, we kind of brought in a couple staff members. You know, I get to take part in the Senior Queens. But obviously not living in Texas, I fly in or whatever tournaments I'm at. And so while we're here at the bowling campus, it gives us an opportunity to bring in some of our other staff. Dwayne Hagan, manager of the Open Championships, and does the Senior Masters. And I said, why don't you, we kind of agreed that I would do Senior Queens and he would take care of these guys. He's used to them. They all know his face, so he worked in the office for the first week while I was part of the Senior Queens, and now we're kind of flip-flopping duties. Except for right now, because you're letting me get away from my computer. So,
you're welcome.
Thanks. Yeah.
right, Eric, we have Charles Nybert coming up on lane 10. He's working on 3 in a row. He's looking for 4. Charles currently finds himself at 21st, minus 122.
Say that looked a little wide, a little bit too steep to the front part of the lane, but it did get back for only a 2-pin. Softer ball speed, let it get around the corner there. We got Bill Keenan here, getting ready to go up on lane 11 with the front 6. And nobody else on that pair doing much, so where's Bill standing right now? Making a little run here.
Bill's minus 8 right now, so he's still.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys hovering around that. I guess it's opened up a little bit. Plus 62 currently to cut, so certainly the 6-bagger here working on hoping for number 7 would be huge. There's number 7.
Very nice. Couldn't tell when he let go if he liked it or not. Hang on.
We know he liked the end result. Once again, thank you everybody for tuning in. We are at the International Training and Research Center in Arlington, Texas, watching the 2013 Super Senior Classic. I'm Aaron Smith, being joined by the Women's Championships Tournament Manager and Lane Man Aficionado, Eric Pearson. Eric hails from the great state of Wisconsin, just outside of the Milwaukee area.
Yeah, I came out of the hotel today. The sun was shining. It's really nice out there. I'm not sure I want to fly home tomorrow night.
I'm sure we can keep you around. We'll find something for you to do.
Oh, I miss home. I'm ready to go home for a couple weeks. I've been on the road a lot this year, between the women's championships and all the other events, and you know, visits to whether it's potential future cities or other events like Junior Gold, team trials. When you start putting the days on a calendar, it's there's not many days at home in Wisconsin anymore.
Hopefully Denise is letting everybody know, or hopefully she's tuned in, letting everybody know.
Yeah, we'll go home, spend a little time at the bowl. Trying to get back into it myself a little bit, bowl a little bit more often. Maybe drill up a couple new balls.
Well, you have to beat Matt Cannizzaro, so
Maybe.
that's
Maybe even bowl a tournament or two.
not quite there for the Super Senior Classic, but the PBA 50 is right around the
Oh yeah, sure.
right around the corner for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I doubt it.
Competing against the likes of Lenny Borsch, Jeff Riggles, USBC Hall of Famers, that Pete Weber guy.
Yeah, I think I'd much rather do the lanes and watch bowling. Oh,
5-pin, unable to fall.
it's gonna get knocked over too. We need a 5 on 12. I don't see anyone out here. Oh. Mark Lineberry's gonna go call it in. Yeah, it looked like the 5-pin guy shook over to the left side a little bit, and then got bumped back and made its way back to the right, and then the pin setter knocked it down.
It wanted to fall, just did not cooperate there.
Great shot out of Bill McCorkle for a turkey on lane 9.
It's bounced back nicely after the tough break with the 4-9
Yeah.
in the fifth frame, excuse me.
Yeah, after watching the last 2 balls, that 4-9 was definitely tighter up the lane. The last couple shots, he's gotten around the ball nice, kind of floating it out to the right a little bit. Can't quite tell what ball that is.
I believe that's one of the new offerings from Storm,
Okay.
who presented to the senior queens last week, or this week.
Is that a smackdown?
Actually, I think that's a rain on.
Okay. I don't know, there's so many new balls out right now. Again. Kim Terrell over here to do a score correction for Bill Keenan's out of range pin that got hit by the pin setter.
USBC Hall of Famer Kim Terrell-Kearney, one of the coaches here at the ITRC, helping out.
Yeah, basically just 4 of them here at various times to keep things functioning here. Kim is here. Rod Ross runs the whole operations here. We got Nick in the back watching the pin setters, doing the lanes for us this week, and then Brian O'Keefe is helping at the main control counter with the scores and the names.
All right, Bill McCorkle stepping up in the 9th. Once again, Bill sitting in 9th after 8 total games here at the Super Senior Classic.
So, I'm assuming we have to get rid of the strike for Mark. Little bit of work to do yet on the get that score fixed. That ball's tight again.
Holds this time. He sets up the 9th perfectly. 264 still out there.
Same pattern. That's what you wanted, right?
Thomas Reams stepping up on lane 10. He's cleaned this game. No doubles yet, though.
Looking to set one up here in the 9th frame. Pretty good shot. All right, they're back to action on 11 and 12.
Mark Lineberry step up on 12. Mark's out on a lot of PBA 50 stops. He's +6 after 8.
Okay.
Our tournament leader, Pete McCordick, a little slower than his first 2 games. He still has a 224 out there, stepping up in the 9th on lane 14. Mark trips out the 9.
He's covering some boards out there. He's not really playing the outside part of the lane, but he is getting the ball wide down lane, and it's making a big move on the back. Pretty long and just a very late reaction there, but gets back and almost goes right past the 9-pin. Trailer rolls across, takes it out.
Here's Keenan on 11.
Back on track.
No 5-pin this time.
Well, if he throws 279 here, he jumps himself right up into the number, right?
he'll be pretty close. Let's see, he was -8, so be in the +70s, +62. Currently the cut, Mark Estes. I believe he's over on 1 and 2 right now. Let's see how he's looking this game. He's actually stepping up in the 10th with a chance to go 207, so.
He's an open and no doubles, so he could give back some pins here.
Also a big 10th frame coming up. On lane 9, Bill McCorkle just entering your screen on the left. And so Lineberry trips out the 4. McCorkle still has 264 out there.
Pretty good shot.
Dead flush, 10 back, Bill McCorkle.
Not hard to see that ball motion. Ball floats just right, picks up right where it's supposed to, starts to slow down, and
it's like a gravy train with biscuit wheels.
nice. Rolls through the pins the right way. Does it appear that 13 and 14 is the tricky pair? A lot of head shaking going over there this game.
14 is right up against the wall separating the ITRC. Not sure how much that affects players of this caliber, but.
Yeah, we have 2 more Brunswick lanes on the other side that we did use for the Queens because we had 16 players in the bracket for match play, so we had to take the wall down and use all 16 for qualifying and the match play. And then put the wall back up and kind of give it the little cozy feel that it has here, which turned out just right. 28 players, 2 on a lane. Couldn't be better.
So Mark Estes is going to finish up at 195, it appears. Bill Kanan still striking. Trying to go 279. He'll actually, one more, he'll pass Mark Estes, but Bill McCorkle also jumping into the top 8. So we'll get you a recap as soon as standings after game 9 are up on the screens here.
Yep, takes us a couple frames. I'm not sure, is the bowling center putting them out to their spot on the website? I know the scoring system that they have the ability to, everything gets fed right away. But I'm not sure where it goes to. As far as the USBC webpage for this event,
I can tell you where it goes.
We type the numbers in, and where's it go?
It goes right to bowl.com/super senior. That's the website. There, if you go to 2013 results, all the information you'll ever need on this event, including up-to-date standings, which we'll have in a second. They're going to have to shut off all the lanes after we finish. As we move pairs.
Yeah, until the bowlers finish their game, hit the space bar to move the names. Nothing goes back into the system until that last space bar is hit, and then all the names move, all the scores come back in, and get things updated as quickly as possible.
Bill McCorkle finishes with 253, a huge game there. He was just outside the top 8 entering this game. Looks like we're going to have a shakeup right around the number here, Eric. Guys have seen this is their 9th game already on this at this facility on this pattern, along with all the practice, so getting used to the moves. And it's Bill Keenan finishing up 277. Very nice game right there. I'll move him to +69, I believe. Might have jumped up about 6 spots in the standings.
Yeah, it's a large jump there. Big game.
A lot of folks right around even through 8 games. There's a little separation up at the top of the standings. So those guys looking pretty good. Probably about the first 5 to 6 spots are all plus 100.
Oh, we'll still see how Bill Keenan follows up the 277. He'll move over to lane 9.
That is correct.
So we'll see him another game along with Mark Lineberry, and
Bill McCorkle will be moving to 11 and 12. So
exactly.
some guys chasing the number.
Yep.
Lineberry.
That's a lot of them.
Could have been a huge first shot in 10th there to get into the 230s. Clean this up and strike, he'll be at 215. Lineberry plus 6 after 8.
Yeah, we do have left going left, and right lanes are moving right for the lane cross for this event. Something we want to try doing more of as we move forward with all of our major tournaments. So just a matter of having scoring systems in place that have that feature, and that is our plan of attack down the road. Not having the whole pair get up and move to the next cross together, but have bowlers move separate ways and bowl with different people and follow different people each game.
All right, just about done with game 3 here. A few final shots. Now Eric is once again one of USBC's premier lane men. Oil aficionado, if you will.
Button pusher.
Or a button pusher,
Sure.
if you want to get technical. But when coming into these short duration events like this or the Senior Queens, just what's the overall goal when you guys put together a pattern? You may have talked about this a little bit earlier, comparing this to Senior Masters. But when you guys look for score-wise and stuff like that, just kind of where are the stepping stones until you eventually find the pattern that you guys are happy with?
I mean, number one, we always say if the event has in the rules that it's going to be sport line, obviously that's first and foremost. It's going to be a pattern with a ratio of less than 3 to 1. But other than that, really taking into consideration the format of the event, how many games. Hopefully you're going to know how many people are going to be on a pair, so you can kind of take into consideration some transition. I think we always look at, based on the previous year, did the players feel like, yeah, it was a good pattern, the number, it's a reachable number, it's not too easy, or maybe scores are too high and it's just a big shootout, or if they're on the tougher side where it gets to be such a grind that that's really not what you're looking for either. We have had a couple of those in the past, though.
You don't want any career enders, right?
Yeah, exactly. You hope not. So I guess I look at it, if we feel like we've had a successful tournament the year before, and the players all kind of felt like, hey, that was really nice, I enjoyed the event, it's only one part of the equation of the whole event, but it is also what you're competing on to determine the winner. So, but if it looks like things kind of play out in a decent way, then I would say, why would you try to shoot for something, far away from that? You want to go with something similar, but you always have to take into consideration you might be in a new bowling center. There's new oil products on the market that we're using. Lane machine technology changes. Things like that play in. So you do the best you can to kind of just take it all in and say, we want to be similar to last year. is it okay to have maybe have them a tougher than last year, open them up a little bit, and you don't always get it right either. So I don't think there is any perfect equation. You can't write down and say, here's what we're looking for. You know, I've always kind of said, is there a way to have the perfect tournament? We got a lot of compliments about the Masters last year in New Jersey. The fact that we had a good number of left-handers, multiple styles. All bowling ball companies are represented very well in the final handful of bowlers. The squad equity from A to B to C was almost identical. So everybody looked at that and just based off of numbers, like, oh, what a great job. How often does that really happen? And if it was off by a couple bowlers here and there, would it be bad? You know, I mean, it's hard to just look at numbers and say, oh, we had the perfect pattern. You never know. And even if you did have it perfect, how would you know?
Well, that sounds like more than pushing buttons, but
what criteria plays into that? And I don't like to say too much, but there's times where I'll say, you know what, yeah, we weren't, there's been tournaments where I'm like, yeah, we didn't want them that hard, but oops, it happens. I also believe that once you put the pattern out, you're done. That's all we can do, and the bowlers have the biggest influence over what happens to it. For instance, we had at the Open Championships, the team event had record team score. That pattern really wasn't any more difficult, I guess, in ratio-wise or volume or anything than it was in 2011, but yet the team event scores were higher. So did the pattern hold up longer, where really good bowlers that know what they're doing, who really know their equipment, were able to adjust to the pattern and stay with the transitions, where the transitions just minor, and that's the reason scores were higher? It's not just the pattern. I've always said, when you look at all the different factors that play into the outcome of a bowling tournament, the lane condition is probably less than 30%.
And with that, we'll switch over. Get you folks at home some results. We are 3-9. The cut has moved up once again, Eric.
Well,
plus 81, Bill McCorkle with the big 250
I'm
game.
way off.
Happens to the best of us, McCorkle. See him in a second, appearing on lane 12. He started off game 4 with a 9 spare. As we thought, Bill Keenan, who had the big 277 game, and is going to be up on lane 9 in a second. Moved to plus 69. He is currently 9th. Mark Estes, plus 57, sitting in 10th. So we still got quite a few guys hovering around that number. We'll see who can hold on. It's Pete McCordick well ahead of the field. Nearly 100 pins over second place. Currently Willie Wells at plus 198. Followed by Kerry Painter, plus 169. Don Blatchford, plus 165. And Paul McCordick, plus 148. 6th and 7th has a bit of a drop-off. Curtis Dornath, plus 85. Dick Selgo Jr., plus 82. And once again, McCorkle at plus 81. So those 6th, 7th, and 8th spots more or less up for grabs right now. Who wants it more? We have Paul McCordick not too far away from us. He's in 5th. Coming over to our feature pairs for the last 2 games. Right now, we actually have Curtis Dornath right in front of us. He's up on lane 11. Looks like he's a little bit further left than some of our competitors.
He's got that in a little bit. Obviously, a little tight to the front. He's got pretty good rev rate. Turns the ball very well. Just watched him practice yesterday, and I don't know him, but talked to him a little bit the other night, and then saw him throw the ball yesterday. I'm like, he'll be right up in the mixture. Good release.
See if
Well, no, I think it's good. I mean, you're taking 8, but it's still nice to have another, 5, 6, 7, whatever people in the mixture there. Where I don't care where you're at there, you better keep putting up the number.
I was going to say we currently have 14 players in the plus. Thomas Ream is in 14th at +7.
So half the field's plus.
Half the field is plus, yes. A few other guys right around there as well.
And 8th place is averaging 209. That's a little higher than I thought it would be, for sure. I underestimated the guys.
Shame on you. Even the Michael Jordan of lane patterns misses every once in a while, so.
Yeah.
Jeannie Brito up on lane 10. The lone female competitor in our field. And we'll see McCorkle on 11 trying to bounce back from an open frame.
He slid by a 4-pin, I believe.
We are moving right along here at the ITRC. I'm Aaron Smith along with Eric Pearson right now, and thank you everybody for tuning in to the 2013 ITRC Super Senior Classic right here in Arlington, Texas. We're in day 2 of competition. Bowlers competed in 6 games yesterday. Finish up 6 today before cutting to the top 8 to advance to Friday's Cashers round. After 4 more games, the top 5 will make the stepladder finals to determine the champion of this inaugural event.
Great pickup.
Jenny takes care of the 5-6. And you can see all of that wire-to-wire coverage right here on Bowl.com. On Bowl TV. So we have a few guys right around the cut number here on our feature pairs. Bill Keenan stepping up on lane 10. Wasn't sure if he liked that one off his hand, but held line.
I can't tell. Yeah, I couldn't tell the last game either. He gets it off his hand and he kind of crouches over, and I'm not sure if that means that he's looking for it to hold line or if he just does that every shot. He had a couple other balls where he kind of waved his arms. I think those were the ones that were light though. So I think he crouches when it's tight on line, and he lets the arms go flailing when it's wide and he needs it to come back.
The expert analysis by
There you
Eric
go.
Pearson.
It's all about the body language.
There's Mark Lineberry. He's currently +20.
Definitely a much steeper angle than I would say most of the other bowlers, but I haven't watched everyone. That ball held very well.
Corco goes light on 12, leaving the bucket. Basically 2 games to go for 3 spots right now. Curtis Dornath on the 11th.
A little flat, leaves a 10-pin.
One of the guys looking to hold on. He's currently in 6th.
Is that Willie with the front 4 over there?
Willie Wells, that is.
Just looked a little animated on the last shot, so
Willie, of course,
he's in easy, right?
Oh, he's definitely doing all right. He's sitting in 2nd.
Yeah.
Averaging 222 for the event so far. Some of you folks may know Willie if you've been to the Open Championships. Works in the Visionary booth, along with Frankie May.
The one and only.
So we'll actually see Willie Wells in our final game today. He'll be on lanes 9 and 10, along with USBC Hall of Famer Gary Dickinson. So that should be a pretty good group. Gary's
kind of plugging along, but nothing exciting here.
Gary's still under. He's -24 for the event, sitting in 16th. So He's going to need a huge finish to move on to tomorrow's round.
Yeah, I mean, if he could go 100 over the next 3, that may not be enough. Right? That's already 80.
Gary right now has got the front 3, or he's had the front 3, 9 spare. Looks like he got that one. So he's got 4 out of 5. If you want to follow along and see how Gary and William progress, be sure to go to bowl.com/Super Senior. Click on 2013 results. Click on live scoring. You can follow every pair here at the ITRC. We've been coming to you live from the International Training and Research Center all week. First with the senior queens. How about that?
Tom Ream just picked up the big 4.
How about that?
They're all looking back to make sure that was on camera.
He says it's the second time this week. Now he's just showing off.
The funny part was the bowler to his right was going to get up and bowl, and they're following the PBA lane courtesy here, and it was his turn to get up and bowl, and he actually waved off the bowler to his right and says, "No, it's my turn to go," and he just kind of got up and fired away at it. 2 at the 610, and it looked like they almost both bounced out, didn't it? They both came out and
We'll see it up
took
here
out
on
the left
the.
side. It's a very strange hit there.
There is a bit of a delay, so we'll actually get to see it here. But right now, Bill Keenan.
Clean
Bill
with an early
Corkle, the
double.
8-9 seeds, bowling right next to each other.
He has definitely found his line of the 1-3. He's looking comfortable. Bill Keenan, that is. Bill McCorkle with a 10 pin.
That'll hang on. Curtis Dornat up on 12. Mark Lindberry stepping up on 10. Rick Winther in between them. Curtis has figured out 12. Still needs to get it going on 11 here. Sitting at plus 85. I would think, Eric, you've seen a lot more balls go down the lane in your day than I have, but I would think with all the people playing it right, that would help out a guy with the hand of Mark Lindberry. But the scores aren't necessarily showing that so far.
No, I'm just wondering if his reaction is just a little too tricky. He's very steep, and just knowing the center here, most of the bowlers that bowl here, it's hard to get the ball to slow down and pick up and face the pocket. And unless he's catching some of that worn, friction area early enough, like the ball he just threw there, it just never finished. I'm not sure if he's just a little bit too deep. He's not catching a dry enough part of the lane early enough. And the ball he's throwing doesn't look super shiny. Maybe a little oil shine on it, but on the other hand, the pair he just came off of, they look equally as deep on the lane, but he was feeding it to a spot where the ball got to the back end and it made a huge move down lane. You know, for me, I mean, I'm just watching it. That does not look comfortable to my eyes. I have trouble seeing that ball, seeing the lane the right way. But as the bowler, you kind of have your own perception of what your ball motion looks like. You know, to him, maybe he feels like that's a smooth arcing ball that he can read real easy. And that just might be the reason he's not stringing strikes or throwing a lot of doubles. Just doesn't have that consistent ball motion where he's getting to the pocket consistently enough here to string any strikes. You pointed it out earlier. I think some of the guys who right now have the hot hand are a little bit straighter. They're not like going up the lane, but they're definitely inside the track, just with a little bit of slow belly to the ball.
We're just looking back at the Big Four conversion by Thomas Ream. He threw that pin. That thing bounced out of there with authority.
Yeah, that was quick. I say he just kind of got up and fired at the 610 just to kind of get out of the way, and next thing you know, there was a bunch of stuff happening on the left side of the lane.
All right. Bill McCorkle's still struggling here on 11 and 12 after the big 250 game to move into the cut. Even the 2-4-10. Seems like he's more or less around the same area that he was last game. It's just ball seems a little, I don't know if it's burning early and just having nothing on the end and not getting there, or what exactly is going on, but definitely not the look he was hoping for after going 250s.
Oh, major tug out of Bill Keenan for a runaway Brooklyn at his second double of the game. Clean with a pair of doubles. Bill with a second open of the game.
Second open. He has 113 in the 7th currently. He still has a 2-0 out there, but feels like he's going to lose some ground here.
Yeah, just try to grind this one out, get off the pair, and try to get back on track the next game.
There's Thomas Ream on 11.
Much better shot. Looks like the last couple there, he kind of helped him a little bit. You kind of see him come off the approach, kind of disgusted with the shots. He went high on one, I think, and crossed over on the other. That one he let go. He held his position at the line and knew it was a good shot the whole way.
He's taking advantage of that conversion of the Big Four. Rattle off 3 strikes in a row. Thomas still with a on the outside looking in, but he's plus right now, +7 coming into this game, so he still has 260s out there with a few more strikes, so it's not over till it's over here at the ITRC and the Super Senior Classic. Pete McCordick still way out in front of everybody at +291. We should have some
damn kids. 60-year-old kid.
The McCordick brothers, the youngsters of the group, yes. turned 60 yesterday. Paul and Pete.
We told them only fitting, you know, the 2 youngest guys get in and end up pulling each other in the stepladder.
Certainly a possibility. They're both of them looking to set themselves up pretty nice for the 4 games tomorrow. Cut to the top 5. Curtis Dornath stepping up on 11, looking for 4 in a row.
Turns the ball, nice.
Mixes them up. Well, back in August, talking to Kerry Painter, Kerry actually ended up winning Bowler of the Month for the month of August for the IVMA. He won the inaugural High Roller Super Senior Masters. And Curtis Dornath, one of the guys he defeated in the finals.
Okay.
Curtis finished 3rd in that event. Gary Dickinson was 2nd. Kerry first. Kerry's currently on lanes 1 and 2. Fallen a little off pace from yesterday, but still in good shape. Unable to double in the 9th, so
he was the number.
He was the number, yes, so he's going to.
Bill Keenan's bowling a solid game here.
Bill Keenan still has 2 40s out there. So going to more than likely see Bill Keenan move into the top 8. Mark Estes also around there, plus 57. We'll see what he's looking at. Looks like he's struggling a little bit this game. Punch out for 195, so.
Is that Blatchford, top bowler on lane 3?
Don Blatchford, very good
having a solid game.
Senior player. 729 for his first 3 games. We almost saw him go 290 here on our feature pair to kick off today. He has 7 out of 8 strikes here in game number 4. He missed a single pin spare though, so that'll cut 12 pins off his max. Still can go 267.
Tom Ream looking for another one here to get 4. Oh.
2-4-10.
That would have been his 5th strike. That's not fun. Throw a string and then give some back. I think he knew it was a little bit wide off his hand.
Up on 9, Bill Keenan. Gets the 10 out. Strike in the 8th frame. 240 still out there for Bill Keenan. Just a rough game for Bill McCorkle. Cannot get off of that pair soon enough. Tom Ream just showing off now. Put the cameras on him, he'll make anything. That is 2 huge split conversions for Thomas Ream there. Coming in at +7.
Still can put up, what, 240?
Still has 243 out there.
But he'll be going in the right direction, trying to sneak up into the top 8.
He'll be moving over to 13 and 14 for game number 5. There's a 3-bagger for Lineberry. Once again, welcome everybody. If you're just tuning in now, I'm Aaron Smith along with Eric Pearson, Matt Cannizzaro
Hi,
also.
Aaron.
Hi, Eric. Matt Cannizzaro also in the house, helping out today. We are at the International Training and Research Center in Arlington, Texas, bringing you live coverage from the 2013 Super Senior Classic, the inaugural Super Senior Classic. We're in round 2. Bowlers there competing in 6 games. They competed in 6 yesterday as well. After 12 games, cut to the top 8, who will advance to tomorrow's Cassius round. Bill Keenan liked that one off his hand. That was a little shuffle back, never a doubt.
A nice solid game going. Spare double, spare double, spare double.
He'll step up on the 10th with a chance for 240s. Thomas Ring, a great 231 there with 2 split conversions. And the top 8 will once again come back tomorrow. Bowl 4 more games before the top 5 will compete in the stepladder finals until we have a champion here at the ITRC. Just about wrapping up game 4. Our feature pair to the right, 11 and 12, already in the 10th frame. They're in the 9th on 9 and 10. Lineberry does not get the 4 out, working on a 3-bagger. Stepping up on 11, Curtis Dornath. Looking for 6 in a row. Throwing pins all over the place. Curtis looks pretty tall from back here, Eric. Right around your height.
Not tall.
Well, compared to us normal folks.
6'2". 6'2", 6'3" is not tall. Keep telling people.
For the NBA, no, but
It's usually the answer I get.
Curtis putting some distance between him and the cut line here. He was in 6th coming into this game. There's another strike. He's got 2 60s out there with one more. The strike on the fill. Spares in the 2nd and the 4th frame. Everything else strikes. He's going to make a big jump here.
The left-handed of the Cornix is kind of struggling this game. Has one open and is not able to strike. A lot of 9 counts, and right now just can still shoot 196. But looks like every time I look over there, it's a flat 7.
The left-handed McCordick, of course, is Paul.
Yeah. I'll let you fill in the blanks.
Paul was sitting in 5th at plus 148. Curtis, great game, 257. Here comes Bill Keenan up on 9. Working on a double, 248 still out there for Bill. He will be inside the cut number after this game. Moving ahead of Bill McCorkle. Here's Bill's first shot. That looks
tight.
left.
Had to be at a minimum of a 4-pin. Actually, I think he got a pretty good break there. Could have easily been a split. But with a spare, he'll go 100 over the last 2 games alone.
Making a big move here in day number 2.
Yeah, I figured there'd be a lot more jockeying for that 8th spot here. I just did not think the number would be 80, 90 over. But No, we're not done yet, but I don't see it going down.
Hill handles the forward pin.
I just don't believe the guys that once they get to that number, they're going to keep adding on. You don't see a lot of fluctuation around the cut going up and down. It's going one direction pretty steady.
Very true. After day one, it was plus 29 to make the top 8. It's gone up every game to the 40s, into the 60s, into the 80s. And presumably now, not sure how the seventh place participant currently, Dick Selgo Jr. Let's see what he was going with Kerry Painter. They were on 1 and 2. Dick Selgo will drop as well. He can fill out his game here for 183. So we still, the number might drop a little bit here, Eric. Phil Keenan's moving up, but a few guys ahead of him moving in the wrong direction.
Well, Curtis went up.
Curtis went way up.
Selgo had what?
He could strike on his fill ball for 183, so he'll go down a few pins. He'll be in the plus 160 or plus 60s, excuse me. McCorkle going way down into the plus 30s. Mark Estes could max for 195 earlier, I believe, so I think the number's going to drop a little bit into the plus 60s here as we get ready for game number 5.
Another 7-pin for Paul McCormick.
Well, we'll get a chance to see Paul up close and personal.
So he's, I mean,
Our
he's
next
well
two
above
games.
the number, but he's in the 180s this game. He's going to the bag for a ball change.
If there ever was a time. Actually looks like a ball he was throwing earlier. There goes Kerry Painter, our day 1 leader. Moving on to 13 and 14. We'll see Kerry for game 6 on 11 and 12. All right, Eric, you're going to stay on for a little bit longer here.
Okay.
I'm going to hand the headsets back to the one and only Matt Cannizzaro. He's going to take over for a little bit. So we'll be right back with you here at the ITRC.
Hello, Eric Pearson.
Hi, Matt. Now I'm nervous.
Ha, Matt Cannizzaro, I am back. Aaron Smith said something about other sporting events, something about a racehorse, I'm not sure. The Cowboys right down the street. The Rangers not playing, so. But here we are. I am back in the booth here, watching Game 5.
I thought he was my errand boy. He's going to go get us a drink.
That's sweet of him.
Isn't that nice?
Aaron Smith will be back shortly with Mountain Dew in hand. I didn't see that in his new job description here at the IBC. But hey, as long as he knows his role.
He takes care of me. I buy him a beer occasionally.
There he goes. And here we are. So, I will admit I was here working on some things to help make the game of bowling better. Also got an eye on the PBA World Championship at the same time. So a lot of bowling action happening around the country today. We've got the best super senior players around, coming from as far as Alaska to bowl here at the ITRC. We'll have the updated scores here in just a few minutes. Our left side, lopsided booth here, all left-handers right now.
Interesting.
Eric Pearson's getting a phone call. Must be Aaron Smith wants to know what to do if there's no Mountain Dew in the vending machine.
No,
What's plan B?
it's probably a your prescription is ready. Which
Well, while we're
doesn't do
here-
me any good here. I mean, I'm pretty far from home to be
Certainly.
going to pick up that prescription.
Well, as long as you eat your apple a day, sir, you will be good to go.
Banana today.
But speaking of super seniors and prescriptions, I want to send a shout out to our good friend Bob Hart, who had a heart attack last night. That is the word on Facebook, where everything is factual. Bob Hart, a big supporter, of course, of the sport, a Hall of Famer, the Special Olympics, you name it, and he's there. So our best goes out to Mr. Hart for a speedy recovery. And we'll see you soon in Reno for the Special Olympics and opening day. February 28th, right around the corner. We are 4 months away.
That's crazy. We just left.
We did just leave. There's so much going on in Reno this coming year. I don't know how much you and Aaron touched on while I was away. And you're going to have your hand in most of it. We'll have the Open Championships kicking off on February 28th. Of course, your role there to help set the 2 lane conditions that will challenge our 50,000 competitors during the 130-plus day run of the Open Championships. And once that's over, you'll transition into a managerial role at the USBC Women's Championships across town at the Reno Sparks Convention Center.
Yep.
Once that event kicks off on April 11th, not too long after, we'll take a short break for the Intercollegiate Team and Singles Championships.
Correct.
So far we have the men, the women, and the collegiate bowlers covered. And then in June 27th to July 3rd, the USBC Queens will be in town, and the Senior Queens back together after a couple of years apart. And that will take place at the National Bowling Stadium. So all of the top female bowlers will have the chance to come out and bowl 3 great tournaments in one trip. We talked about that a little bit earlier. And then about a week later, we'll have the USBC Senior Championships at the National Bowling Stadium. So something for everybody, along with some different side events. And of course, the ever-changing city of Reno. Baseball team there now.
It's going to be busy.
Yeah, certainly
in a couple of months here.
Gonna have a lot going on. Of course, you'll play some sort of role in all of those events as far as lane conditions or managing, and throw in the Senior Masters somewhere in there somewhere.
Just before Senior Queens, 2 weeks. So yeah, things are gonna get real bunched up. Last couple of years things have been spread out, but things are gonna narrow down. A lot's going on between June and July. In a roundabout way, that kind of like leads us into the future as we head to Green Bay for the championship series. So we'll have a few of those events, almost one right after another. Not all in Reno, but a few of them. And then, not the same time frame, but only about a month later in the year, in 2015, as we take all of our short duration tournaments and package them all together for the championship series in Green Bay, close to home. Yeah, we'll get some initial planning going here. We have a trip slated for Reno coming up here with some of our staff to do some testing at the convention center, and we'll start taking a look at the lane conditions and what we're planning on doing shortly thereafter. Don't have an exact time frame here yet. We're still trying to get some schedules put together with all the different people that are involved. It's always a challenge to get everyone that's got a piece of it to actually have the ability to travel and work together. So we're still trying to manage that and get that together for the lane patterns, at least for the open. And then we will have plenty of time then to get the women's conditions put together, as that tournament doesn't start until mid-April. The Open Championships will be well underway by then. And change of pace for the ITCs and ISCs. We did do the team championships a few years ago in El Paso, but now we have the singles event attached to that, so we'll be busy for that week with all the college kids.
Well, that's a great opportunity, too, for the youth and collegiate bowlers to get a look at the big stage. 44 lanes, custom built inside the Reno Sparks Convention Center. Started with an empty room, and now it's a one-of-a-kind bowling venue. Just unbelievable. I know in El Paso in 2010, the kids were mesmerized just walking in, wide-eyed, seeing the bright scoreboards and the high ceilings and the bright lights over the lanes.
They loved it, yes.
Certainly a championship feel, the banners in the rafters, and the perfect stage for crowning the national champions, and just a taste of hopefully what they'll get to experience down the road as they graduate college and move on to bowl in the Open and Women's Championships. And
hopefully as they continue on their careers. Yep, I mean, nothing but good words for all of us when we ran that event that year, and looking forward to doing it again, and as well as all the parents and fans that come out to watch their respective schools compete for those titles. It's a great venue. We'll finish it off with the TV show, hopefully. I'm not sure where that's all at, but I'm not involved with the TV show usually. But good event. Champions in singles as well as team this time around. We didn't do that last time in El Paso.
All great things happening in the world of bowling at USBC. If you want more information on those events and how to get involved, just go to bowl.com. Open and Women's Championships registration already open. I believe Senior Queens and Queens registration not too long from now will be open, so make sure to get your spot before it's too late, before things fill up. Right now we're going to talk a little bit more about the 2013 ITRC Super Senior Classic. We have the latest results, or standings, through 10 games here. And after 12 games, the field will be cut to the cashers round. They'll come back tomorrow. But here's a split screen for you with the latest standings through 10 games. On top, we have Pete McCordick averaging 230. So having a pretty stellar day. Followed by Willie Wells, yesterday's leader, Kerry Painter. And Don Blanchford.
Yeah, it looks like the number went down a little bit. Obviously, you just have those 3 to 4 people there kind of hovering around the number, going back and forth, which kind of expected to have happen. Just kind of thought maybe that number would be a little bit lower than it is, but a couple games to go here.
So we're going to take 8 to the next round.
Yep.
And right now the number's at plus 64, it looks like.
Correct.
For 10 games. So 206 average on this USBC sport compliant lane condition. A little more challenging than your typical house condition. But while we're talking about the Super Senior Classic, Eric, you're involved in every level of USBC events, and I can't believe you do it all voluntarily just because you love the sport. But but that's great, and we do appreciate it. But tell us a little bit about the thought process behind the creation of the Super Senior Classic. I know Senior Masters, a very popular event, a unique format there, but this event, a new addition to the menu and its own unique format.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have the Senior Masters, of course. There's a lot of bowlers there that support it. I believe we had 108 or 110 60-plus bowlers that still support the Senior Masters, and we definitely want that to continue. It's a great event, a major championship. But with some of those numbers, rising up, these guys kind of feel like they really want to see another level of competition where they don't have to put their shoes on and necessarily bowl against Pete Weber or Walter Ray, who you have all these superstar bowlers that are now reaching that age. So you definitely see a little bit of a separation, in the demographic itself, and so the bowlers kind of asked for something to be thrown together, and maybe something where they could kind of compete on their own. And here you have it. We threw this together and said just to get it up and running and off the ground, we would pair it up with the Senior Queens, which was here last week. And we would run it here at the ITRC, hopefully get some decent entries. And if nothing else, get it off the ground, get some feedback from the bowlers, and see what we need to do to move forward. Not sure where it's going to go or what's going to happen, but
Well, there's a lot of chatter already this week about, why didn't they know sooner? I could have brought some guys, and I mean, a lot of events start that way, a little bit small. I mean, the Open Championship started that way with 41 teams.
well, originally we had. Originally, within the original rules we had was you had to bowl the Senior Masters to qualify for this event. We didn't want to see, the Senior Masters suffer because we started a second tournament and it just, all those bowlers flocked and bowled this instead of that. So we were a little bit leery of just starting the event and saying, come and bowl this one instead. So that was the initial criteria. Not sure if that chased away any bowlers or not. Most of the guys I see here are very familiar faces. They bowl in the Senior Masters, and they signed up, to bowl this because of that. Yeah, we definitely need to reach out a little bit more, maybe to some specific areas to try to draw in more entries. Maybe it'll be the location or a different date, time of year. I'm really not sure where we're going to move forward with this at this point.
What better place to launch this event than at the ITRC? This facility, for those who don't know, is certainly one of few in the world, even as far as the technology available here. It is the home of Team USA and Junior Team USA, and a great place for any bowler, not just the elite players, but any bowler anywhere, to come out and spend a half a day or two, and get analyzed from every angle, every aspect of your game, from ball motion to ball selection, just to the basics, your fundamentals. They can see you. They have cameras all over the building. They can see you from every possible angle. All kinds of other great technology, computers and lasers and different things.
And you see that kind of going on here. Well, you see a lot of players. There are some clinics. We did some things for the senior ladies the other day. We had an in-classroom clinic for the ladies that didn't make the match play, as well as an on-lane clinic that there was a charge for, but an opportunity to have the Team USA coaches out here helping them with their games, and I think we had 14 or 15 ladies take part in that, so that was wonderful. I believe we're offering the same things here for the Super Senior Classic bowlers.
Well, DFW is so easy to get to, and we talked about earlier, so much going on in the area, from the Cowboy Stadium right down the street, the Rangers, depending on the time of year. Six Flags is walking distance. We get to see that from the office windows every day. And, of course, just so many great things around the area, just a short car trip away as well. If you're a competitive bowler and you're looking for a trip, this is the way to go.
And we hear a lot from, the ladies that came to bowl, too. They like to, spend the afternoon or evening. They go out to Fort Worth, or they go visit Dallas, or, there's certain steakhouses they want to go experience. So we hear a lot of that when the bowlers are here too. It's not after they're done with their busy day or whatever they're doing here at the ITRC. Yeah, there's a lot for them to go out and check out in this area.
In bringing the Senior Queens here last year, that was part of the thought process, was giving them the opportunity to experience all of these things, almost to a point of organizing it for them, to kind of set it up, to schedule it, to get them to these places, to see what the area has to offer. to spend a few extra days. I mean, we have short days here, just 6 games of qualifying each day for this event, the Super Senior Classic, giving them the chance to take advantage of the ITRC and everything here, the coaching staff, as you said, clinics. Even the greatest bowlers are still interested in learning new things and working on things and trying to get even better than great. And they're doing that in short days. And then after today, of course, we'll lose 20 of these players from the contention. But the rest will have the chance, as you said. So great things happening here, and you know, putting all these events in one place, giving them a chance to bowl multiple events in one trip seems to be the way to go.
Yeah, it's going well. It's an easy place to run an event here. Great staff, being our hosts here. It's nice and cozy, I guess I like to say here. We use 16 lanes for the senior queens. We're just using 14 of them here for this event, but it works out just right for this size field. I mean, we could have easily had 2 or 3 squads and had, you know, 50, 60, 70 players here. So, you know, we'll see how this all turns out and where it goes, but it's definitely a great competition. You could see right away yesterday when they all came out for practice. They were all geared up, ready to go. Many of them were here for the live stream of the Senior Queens Finals the other night. You could just tell that they're all here, they're ready to compete. It's an event just for them, and I'm hoping this is all going to work out really good. So far, so good. It looks great out here.
All right, well, let's talk about what we're seeing. I know you guys hit on the laning condition and some of the scores. Right now, Pete McCordick still on top. Willie Wells, number 2. Kerry Painter, yesterday's leader, said he's headed to Fairbanks, Alaska. But those are your top 3, all 200 over at this point, and chasing down that top spot heading into tomorrow. But some familiar names, some players that you might have watched in your youth. Gary Dickinson, some of these other guys. It was great to see some of the big names come out to this event as well.
Are you saying my youth?
Your youth.
Mine or everyone
like
out there?
Your youth.
Mine.
Eric
so
Pearson's
you're calling
youth.
me old.
Well, you're far more experienced than
you're right.
than Aaron or I.
You're actually right.
And by the time I was able to change the channel on my own and have cable television, Gary Dickinson was already a great senior player.
You've named it. You're right. I watched Gary Dickinson as a kid. I can remember Pete McCordick's 300 game like it was yesterday. So yeah, you're right. I'm that old.
Experienced. We don't want to call you old. You're experienced. That's why there's 3 of us. Because combined, Aaron Smith and I have almost as much experience.
Well, what do we have for the guys that are near the number here? I know Curtis Dornath had jumped up within the number. Bill McCorkle had dropped a little bit. He's over on the end pair and started with an early double, but he's in trouble now. Looks like he's got room for 2 team, but he's got to strike out last 4 to get that. Bill Keenan was bowling very well. He went 100 over the last couple games. He has, looks like 2 opens and a double this game, so he is by no means on pace like he was the last couple.
Looks like our high guy for the day, Don Blatchford from Santa Monica, California, 961. He's in 4th place right now, plus 197. And quite a few guys between plus 20 and plus 50 right now, so they're fighting it out. This is game number 5 of 6. Second day of qualifying here at the 2013 ITRC Super Senior Classic. Matt Canizaro and Eric Pearson calling the action. Aaron Smith alongside us. We'll have him back on for game number 6. See if we can have a dramatic finish here. Some excitement.
Yeah, I see it staying pretty tight here. I think that you got a handful of guys there, and it's going to make it real interesting here. I mean, normally you see a little bit of separation, but here the possibility of somebody shooting a 250 or 260 the last game and moving up a couple spots, it's out there. Conditions are out there for that to happen, so you just don't know what's going to happen with that bottom number. It could go anywhere here. There's numerous guys that are right around that number that could sneak in.
Well, I thought you knew. I thought you were able to set that number, and you've been pretty good about it. I want this many 300s. I want this number to be it.
Sure.
That's what I tell people.
Years ago, maybe. My prediction here was low. I told Aaron earlier. I set the cut number somewhere in the 40s. It's a little above that. We'll see. I guess plus 42 was my number in the pool. No money on the line though, so.
No, that'd be wrong.
It was
We're here just for fun.
just for fun.
Of course.
Guys on the end pair here are going through pretty quickly. They're already up in the 10th frame. We got a couple other pairs here only up in the 7th or 8th, so they're going to have a little bit of a wait. Kerry Painter, room for 220. Bill McCorkle did get the strike in the 9th and the 10th, so he still has room for 2-teen. He got number 11 also, so he'll go 10 or 11 over here this game. Go back the right direction.
See, we thought earlier that we'd see the lanes open up and we see a lot of strikes as the day progressed, and for some players we have.
Yep. And not so much. I think sometimes too it's the pairs. You got Willie Wells just threw a pretty nice game over on 5 and 6. He moves to 7 and 8 and starts off with 2 early opens. He's bouncing back right now, though he's got 3 in a row going for 4. I figured we'd see a little bit of that. With 6 game block, 4 on the pair, I figured we'd see quite a bit of transition with the fire oil. So you might see kind of scores bounce around a little bit. But you also have, real sound players up near the top, or they're just going to put up a number.
Well, Willie Wells trying to chase down Pete McCordick here with a game and a few frames to go. McCordick's having a solid game down as well. It's like 195 in the 9th, so 220 still out there for him. Willie Wells with the 4-bagger. Right now the goal is to just make it to tomorrow. It's kind of my goal every day too.
Just make it to tomorrow. I hear that. I don't worry about it. If you do, you do. If you don't, what are you going to do about it? Life philosophies. Mine are a little different than most, man.
That's all that experience.
So there's Curtis Dorn that just had a nice game over here. Now he's struggling. He's going to need a double for 2-0. So yeah, when it's good for one person on a pair, it's not so good for the next person.
Well, that's why we move pairs, and it's a marathon. 12 games of qualifying. It's about making adjustments. throwing great shots like that. Paul McCordick, the left-hander.
He's back on track. Ball change.
Paul in 6th place, plus 132. Possible 269 if he can strike out in the 10th frame. A little bit of separation between 6th and 7th place. These guys at 60 plus years old, I think they bowl more than anybody. They have events going on somewhere every weekend, it seems. Perhaps the joys of retirement.
I don't know, Matt. You gonna ever be able to retire?
Not for another 35 years at least. That's half my life away. I'm just about to hit the halfway point. We'll start thinking about that at the 2033 ITRC Super Senior Classic.
35 more years from the media office at the Open Championships.
Well, that'd be all right. I like what I do.
That you do.
That would be a lot of press releases about 300 games.
How many were there last year? I don't think we even had a prediction. Did
Just
we?
over 30. I think that's kind of the standard number.
Yeah, it was an interesting year there. I mean, the 2 different patterns for the first time ever at the Open. Fresh soil every squad. Amazingly, unexpectedly actually, helped us keep the squads on time. Almost early every day, I noticed on some days, when I was able to be over there. So some positive things came out of that. I'm just not sure how much we can do with the patterns. You know, we've been there a lot. We go back to the same lane beds. Now the fact that we're putting out 2 different patterns instead of 1 every year, it's a little bit more challenging to make them, you know, have decent reaction that we're looking for, but yet make them feel different. You can only go so far. I mean, the minute you go too far, you're going to end up with outrageous scores or really, really low scores.
That's why you're the expert. That's
So
what you guys do.
We will try. We'll try to use some of the new technology that's coming up shortly, hopefully in the near future here, and just give them a little bit different of a feel. Of course, the bowling balls keep changing, and
Got to keep you on your toes.
that part of the environment's always going to be there. So.
Game 5 coming to a close here. McCordick with the double. He's going to be in the 260s. Pete McCordick, our leader, 215 it looks like. Down on 3 and 4. Willie Wells still striking to our left. He's got 6 in a row now. He's about 35 pins back behind Pete McCordick. Send out a quick congratulations to Lucy Sandelin, our 2013 USBC Senior Queens Champion. If you missed that, you can find all of the qualifying match play and the very exciting championship match on Bowl TV.
She just lit them up, didn't she? Some great matches that night. The 1-pin victory, the second game, kind of surprised me. You just don't think they're just going to keep on striking, but they did. Because we're about halfway through that game, we were talking that Anne-Marie pretty much had things going, but then she got the 9 count. And we're like, oh, chance at a tie here.
It's never over.
And then the 8 count on the fill, and we're like, oh boy. I don't think there was any doubt that once Lucy got the first 2, she was going to at least get 9 on the fill to win the match by a pin. And the championship match was really good too. A couple of shots Tish said just didn't come off her hand very well, and those are the ones that didn't strike. The last one, obviously, she said she just kind of dragged out of the thumb a little slow and got around the ball a little bit early, so it went high, and that pretty much wrapped it up right there.
Well, and we're wrapping up.
Lucy Bo good all week. It was kind of weird. She didn't really kill him in qualifying. She just kind of hung around, and then she just got better as things went on. Each round a match play, and then the TV.
A strategy.
She timed it right.
She's been there before. She won in 2007, and she said this one kind of validated the first one. She's already a Hall of Famer, and that continues to succeed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really out rooting for anyone specifically. Obviously, you just want to run a good event and whatever. But I was kind of, like to see Tish get that one out of the way. She had a lot of close calls with queens and senior queens, and as well as she bowled all week. Just kind of a shame that it comes down to one game and just 1 or 2 shots that ends up determining the title that way. But
you should talk to the tournament manager.
But what are you gonna do? The format's set, and so. But she'll be back.
You know who else is back? Aaron Smith is back.
He will be back.
Are you gonna stick around? Or?
Kicking me out?
I know. I'll kick me out. That's fine. You guys are way more entertaining.
You tell me if if you don't have work to do. I certainly could find something to do.
No, sir. If you're willing to spread the knowledge, your many years of experience, then certainly.
I kind of want to see what the number's going to be this next game. There's only a game to go, so sure, I'll hang out.
All right. Eric Pearson's going to hang out. Aaron Smith will be back. We'll wrap up game number 5 here in just a minute. We'll have the dynamic duo back together. Maybe not so dynamic. They're just a duo. They're a pair of something. Of Eric Pearson and Aaron Smith. We'll be right back here with you in just a minute.
All right, we're back live here at the International Training and Research Center for the 2013 Super Senior Classic. Thanks to Matt Cannizzaro for stepping in for a little bit. I am Aaron Smith.
Hi, Aaron.
Once again by hello, Eric.
It's cold in here, isn't it?
It is.
I hope it's comfortable for the bowlers. It's a little chilly.
I'm sure it's much better for them than it is for us. We are freezing. But I'm being joined by Women's Championships Tournament Manager Eric Pearson. And we are in game 6, final game of qualifying here, and we got a treat right here, Eric. On lanes 9 and 10, we have USBC Hall of Famer Gary Dickinson, along with Willie Wells. Willie was sitting in
Second or third?
Second place after 10 games. We'll get the standings up here in a second. And then on our left, we have Paul McCordick, who just had a huge game. It's in the 260s.
He made a wonderful ball change. He was leaving a lot of 7s on the first 7 and 8.
Well, he heard you talking about him, so.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And leaving all those 7 pins, so.
I'm surprised at how straight he is playing up the outside of the lane. But,
Well, not too many lefties in this field.
I guess for the way he rolls the ball, yeah, that more direct line is the way to go. And it's still getting way down the lane before it makes its move on the back end. I'm actually surprised how many boards it covers so late. We'll see where he's at on 11 and 12 here, as well as Kerry Painter on 11 and 12.
Our opening
Near
round
the
leader.
top. So
Kerry was in third after 4 games today.
So 3 out of the top 6 in the field right now are in front of the 2 featured pairs.
Dick Selgo Jr., who is in 8th, and that's our cut for tomorrow. Top 8 competitors return for 4 more games. He's also on a feature pair on 11 and 12, so we'll get to see how the how this wraps up. A few folks jockeying for that final position, and along with that, we get to finish out the day with some great bowling and friendly banter between Chicago Bears and Green Bay Packers fans.
Well, what now? I'll just apologize to you right now for the crushing your Bears are going to take Monday evening.
Well, it won't be the first time, won't be the last. But right now we got bigger fish to fry. Gary Dickinson, USBC Hall of Famer, PBA Hall of Famer.
Gotta love watching Gary bowl. Simple style. I don't think his game has changed since, oh, I don't know, the first time I ever saw him roll a bowling ball.
We'll see him up here on lane 10.
Very straightforward, a little bit of shoulder open, and boom.
That's going to be a little lighter than that, but able to mix them all up. Some Hall of Fame carry. How about that?
And he's just kind of like, he's just not doing a whole lot here. I'm just kind of surprised with that straighter angle. But maybe just not the ability to open up the lane at all. Some of the other guys have a little bit higher rev rates.
Gary currently in 17th after 11 games at minus 34. Our leader continues to be Pete McCordick. Pete at a blistering 228 pace, plus 317, followed by Willie Wells, Kerry Painter, Don Blatchford, Paul McCordick, Curtis Norton, Bill Keenan, and Dick Selgo Jr. currently round out our top 8. Let's take a look at the numbers here. You'll see those on the right of your screen.
Yeah, so it looks like just a couple names flipped around there, and you got your 80 over back up as the number.
Plus 82, Dick Selgo Jr. Currently the number. Sitting in 9th, Thomas Ream, plus 59. So there's a little separation there. Bill McCorkle in 10th, plus 48. So we'll get to see if a few of these guys can hold on.
McCorkle on 1 and 2. I will say kind of a love it or hate it pair I've heard from the bowlers that have been here. Over the few events that we've held here. A lot of people say they really struggle over there. They'd rather get into the middle of the house or the high side of the house. And yet,
And of course, if you'd like to follow bowlers, even though this is the last game, you can still go to bowl.com/supersenior. Click on 2013 results. You can pick up live scoring as well as take a look at standings. Get a look at Paul McCordick entering your screen on the right. That ball change was a great one here. Striking at will right now.
Well, it's good now with that too, is he'll have something more in mind where you know, if nothing else, maybe now he's got another option during the next round of qualifying or even on the match play. Could be nothing more than the pair of lanes. I'm assuming we've got 9 and 10 slated for the step ladder.
If I was a betting man, I would imagine it's somewhere right around here. We have our booth set up almost in between 9 and 10 and 11 and 12. Here at the ITRC. Got some pretty good bowlers here as we wrap up. Phil Perito out of El Paso
Nice
delivering right there. Stepping up on 12, Dick Selgo Jr. yesterday. We haven't seen Mr. Selgo yet on our featured pairs yet, but
you
he's
really think about a lot of these guys. Sorry, if you think about the players we have here, and just to comment on the condition, the sport condition, when all these bowlers started their careers, this is what they bowled on. Obviously, not throwing reactive cover stocks, but flatter conditions, keep the ball on line. So maybe going to sport, going with a little bit flatter stuff is no major shock to these players.
It's what they grew up on.
Exactly.
And in that sense,
Just had to think back, you know, a few, 40 years.
but the point I was getting at with Dick Selgo, oh, no problem. You can interrupt me anytime. But he was actually using, not necessarily back that far, but he's using an old danger zone.
Really?
Yesterday during qualifying. Looks like he's using something a little newer today, but danger zones. Getting close to the 20-year anniversary of that, so.
20?
I believe it was,
I don't know.
95, 96, right around there. I was a young guy back then, but.
Okay. Was it around that time? I don't remember. I just remember the first one, the Excalibur. Don't remember the year. I don't know, 92, 93 was it?
Early 90s.
I don't remember. I just remember one day it wasn't there, and the next day it was, and everybody had one. And then from there, it just got crazy.
Gary Dickinson cleans up the 6-pin there. We'll get a look at Willie Wells. Talked about Willie a little bit earlier. Many of you may know him from, or recognize him from the Visionary booth at the USBC Open Championships. Willie's currently sitting in second place overall at plus 288. Willie gets around it a little bit more than most of our field. I feel he's a little bit deeper. That one runs a little high, leaves the 4.
Yeah, and I guess there's just enough hook out there. I mean, even though it's sport, applying, and there's plenty of friction, I believe, in the right places. for that kind of game. And obviously by this point, there's enough traffic on the lanes where just right for him. I don't know how well he bowled when the condition was fresh. I can't believe he struggled with the way he's averaging. So yeah, he gets around the ball real well. So there's a few different styles out here. Pete McCordick's always been up and at him kind of bowler. Willie's going around it. Kerry Painter's probably in between the two.
Don Blatchford
Still have a
straight.
lefty. Curtis Thornath he's not covering a lot of boards, but he's got one of the higher rev rates in the building. Bill Keenan's more of a tweener, just kind of soft with it. I have a feeling if he needs to throw the ball straighter or pick up his ball speed, he'll adjust and do whatever he needs to do. I think as the conditions changed during the block here, Bill's just kind of moved a little left and softened up.
And on line 12, we'll get another look at Dick Selgo Jr. He
It's
opened
like a
the
Nexus. The original, I believe that is. The red and black.
After starting off with Selgo has thrown 3 in a row, looking for 4 here in the 5th. He is currently the cut at plus 82. That run runs high, leaving the 3-6. Thomas Ream in 9th, looking to chase down Dick Selgo at plus 59. He's on the other side of the house. We'll have to go to our live scoring feature to see how he's coming along so far this game. So far on lanes 1 and 2, Thomas Ream double a 7th spare, and he's looking to pick up his spare in the 4th as well. So
Paul McCordick finished with what, 260 that last game? Now the front 5.
He's rolling along. We're seeing a lot of strikes out here. Don Blatchford off of our featured spare, 13-14. He's got the front 5. He'll be stepping up in a second, looking for 6. Here's a look at Kerry Painter on 11. And the front 6 for Don Blatchford. Doesn't look like he's moved a lot from game 1 to game 6 here. Looks like he's still using the same ball. Willie Wells tripping out the 2-8.
Caved in the bucket.
Don Blatchford looks at the same ball, same part of the lane. He's having a big day here. Great shot by Selgo there, bouncing back with the strike.
So who are the guys that have to put up a number here to chase? Thomas Ream, Bill McCorkle.
Howard Partel, plus 43.
And they need to throw decent games. They need to throw solid games and hope that Selgo and Keenan. Well, Keenan's pretty well above number 2, right? 110.
Looks like he's Bill Keenan the queen through 5, no doubles though.
So yeah, this might already be decided. I hate to say it.
Well, never know until the last ball, but we'll certainly see, and we'll let you know, and we'll be able to read about that and more on bowl.com later today. Paul McCordick.
Selgo did start with an open, but then backed it up with a turkey, so he's right around even.
Paul McCordick now with the front 6 on 11 and 12. Moving right along after 269 in game number 5. Once again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Almost have 100 viewers right now, sitting at 98. Tell your friends. Paul McCordick has the front 6.
Where'd that come from? Has it been that the whole time?
Yes, Eric.
I'm just not looking at the same things that you're looking at. You know, you're the IT guy here. You're the media.
IT guy.
And IT, like all these wires and going from page to page here, flipping around.
It's all about being informed, sir. Got to know the ins and outs of each event. Whether it's the 111th running of the Open Championships or the inaugural Super Senior Classic. It's what we do. Can he be stopped? Paul McCordick on a roll. Tell your friends. Tune in right now. Paul McCordick. Front 7.
Players coming over from lanes far and away to slap his hand. Going nice ball change.
Great shot by Willie Wells there. He'll be bowling tomorrow. Dick Selgo, big double there. And to mix him up light. Take a look at the folks chasing right now. Thomas Ream started with the doubles, followed with 3 spares. Bill McCorkle, clean but no doubles. Bill Keenan 1 spot ahead, still clean, so. Check on our tournament leader, Pete McCordick. Slowing down a little bit here. It's clean through 6 frames, stepping up in the 7th, but no doubles. Willie Wells keeps striking. He could be the leader going into the cashier's round tomorrow. Willie was down 29 pins entering the final game of qualifying. See him stepping up on lane 9 in a second, working on a double. We still got 268 out there. Great shot by Selgo.
Yeah, he is just firing it. He's hooking the ball a little bit, but he's definitely just a little bit left, just trying to fire it down the lane.
We're seeing a lot of strikes right now on 11 and 12. Nice break for Willie to get the 10 pin out of there. Kerry Painter is struck in 7 out of 8 frames. Selgo 6 out of 8, and stepping up on 12, Paul McCordick. Front 7 looking for 8. We have not seen a 300 the entire week here at the ITRC.
Way to go.
Between the senior queens.
Here comes a solid 9.
For the Super Senior Classic. No faith?
Did you really just say that?
I watched Matt Cannizzaro shoot a 300 2 weeks ago.
Here?
Not here. In league, though. Paul McCordick says, take that, Aaron Smith curse. Aaron Smith drinks. Brother Pete, stepping by, taking a look. The youngsters of the group. Paul and Pete turning 60 yesterday. Literally the cutoff to compete in this event. The Super Senior Classic was open to all bowlers age 60 and above who are USBC members. Kerry Painter stepping up on lane number 12. Still working on 280 here. It looks like the ball he
Aaron making him look easy on 11 and 12.
It looks like the ball he been talking to Kerry yesterday after the round. He said he was using the new Storm Bite when he shot his 289, but he thought it might have been a little bit. Thought he needed to change the surface a little bit, just tweak a few things here and there. So I'm not sure if he did or not, but whatever he did, it's looking good right now.
That's what it is, though. That is the ball, right? Anne Marie threw one of those a lot.
Anne Marie, Tish, every once in a while.
I didn't see Tish throw anything but the solid.
The IQ.
Yeah.
She started off a few games with it, but it didn't seem like the right matchup at the time. But IQ was definitely the better choice for Tish this week. But Anne Marie certainly did make that ball look good. All right, Eric, here we go. Ninth frame, Paul McCordick stepping up.
I'd almost have to say, let's mark it. He's dialed. He got by your curse. So. I mean, stop.
Picture
He hasn't
perfect.
even tested the waters yet. It's like you turned on a robot over here and just said fire away.
Paul McCordick, front nine, live here on Bull
Mark
TV.
it. Done deal.
Eric Pearson, done deal.
Not even a question in my mind.
Folks, if you're tuning in right now, tell your friends. There's still time to tune in. Kerry Painter not to be outdone, still striking.
Wow.
Spare in the second frame. Everything else strikes.
Yeah, so we got room for 80, 256, 225. Not anymore. 2-0. And perfection. All in this pair. Oh, but the left-hander with the perfect game. What do you know?
It's all about variety. This 41-foot oil pattern allowing several different attack angles to score well this week.
You are seeing that, aren't you?
You are.
Willie is definitely an arrow deeper than everybody else.
Very a little right of that.
But it all has to do with their, I mean, it plays in. It has to do with their games.
Oh, they're all great
The guys that
players.
stay behind the ball and roll it are furthest to the right. The guys that twist it up a little bit are all left. So it's, I just think you accomplish that with any type of a blended pattern. You blend it left to right. You give them some oil in the front. You keep the back ends a little on the drier side so the ball can pick up. And everybody has a look. It's not rocket science.
All right, Kerry Painter stepping up, looking to finish out 280. And then all eyes will be on lane 12. You'll see him walk in. You can't see him start up on the approach, but all eyes then turn into lane 12 with Paul McCordick. Front nine strikes live here on Bull TV. Kerry Painter finishes out 280.
We had some strings of strikes for the senior queens, but we had no perfect games, right? We had a 299 and a 297.
Two 297s. And the senior queens. Here we go, Paul McCordick.
It's kind of got that, it's just high enough where it's the ball's stopping enough to get the 6-pin out. It looks like it's 6-pin high, but The 6 has gone out of there almost the same way every shot. It's just that high flush. See what happens here. That would be the only thing I think he might leave. But I don't think so.
Selgo goes high there for the 3-6-10, but I think he's going to be okay. Selgo was the number coming into the final game.
Yeah, and anybody behind him probably needed to shoot at least a high 240 or 250 to catch him.
All right, folks, here we go. Paul McCordick looking for number 11.
That's online.
Never a doubt.
That was better than the first one. He needs to throw that ball again.
Front
But
11.
We've already decided.
You've already
It's
decided.
done. Yeah. You should have the award for it already. You're slacking.
Let's we'll have to find Tim Robin, make sure he has a few printed up, but folks, we're here right now. This is it. Final game of qualifying, the Super Senior Classic. Paul McCordick. 60 years old and a day, along with brother Pete. Stepping up here, looking for the first 300 at the Super Senior Classic. He's up on lane 12 on the right of your screen. Here we go. Looks pretty good. Mixes them up. 300 Paul McCordick live on Bowl TV.
That was his only light hit of the game there.
That was
Definitely made sure he gave it a little bit of little room.
How about that, folks? We got up to 100 viewers for that too. Paul McCordick, 300 here.
That was impressive.
Unbelievable game. After you made mention of him leaving too many 7-pins, makes ball change. In spite of Eric Pearson, I can only think and hope. Goes 269, 300 to finish the day. Unbelievable. Right here on Bowl TV. Not to be outdone on 3 and 4. Darwin Wimmer stepping up in the 10th. He's got them all.
Does he really?
And he missed, unfortunately. Leaves an 8 count. All right, folks, we still got some bowling going on here on lanes 9 and 10. We just witnessed Super Senior Classic history here in the inaugural event. Paul McCordick bowling the first 300. Now on 9 and 10, we'll finish up here. 10th frame action. USBC Hall of Famer Gary Dickinson looking for the fill ball for 247. And the Hall of Famer gets it to trip out. And I believe we're going to see a new tournament leader going into tomorrow's action.
I got over. Where was Darwin at?
Darwin was actually outside of the number. Oh, he's 14th.
If he was going to pick up 100 pins, would he have snuck up in there? That would have been interesting.
Darwin was plus 19.
What, did he shoot 270?
He's not done yet. He could move up to 78. I don't think it'll be enough to catch. Selgo went to plus 100 there.
Wow.
We'll have to see what Bill Keenan was in the 200s, so he maintained. I think he's going to fall. I think Darwin's going to fall just short of making the cut. Kerry Painter waving to the folks back home.
games 205 and under, and 3 games 268 and over.
All right, Willie Wells. Trying to do some quick math here. Willie might be your leader going into the cashier's round. Pete McCormick fell off of pace there.
You know, and the key here too is you're going to take 8 players, but you're going to cut it to 5, and if the numbers gets higher and higher, I mean, these pins are all going to come down to meaning something tomorrow. You're only going to bowl 4 more games, so you know, for those guys in the first 4 or 5 positions, they want to try and distance themselves as much as possible. You know, especially with some of the guys coming up and
Howard Partel
putting up some numbers here. You know, they're not done. They're going to come back tomorrow just that much wiser and be ready to go and keep adding on pins. So
hold the phone here, Eric. Howard Partel looking to go 270s here. As Willie Wells strikes again. Willie Wells is looking like he's going to be your leader going into the next round. Howard Partel plus 43. He's going to go 260s this game.
and knock Selgo out.
I don't think it'll be enough to knock Selgo out, though. Selgo moved to plus 112. Even if he would have struck there, he would have been at 77 and 43.
Do you need the left-hander to do the math?
Probably.
I'm not looking that close.
Wow, I believe that shot actually, he needed to strike there to take over the last spot. With this conversion, he'll be at plus 107, Selgo 112.
Oh, I see. He didn't get the second one in the 10th.
He did not get the second one in the 10th.
It's down to 260s. Yep.
And as it appears, looks like we have a new leader. Willie Wells out of Plano, Texas. Having 247 in his final game to make up ground on Pete McCordick. So, talk about an exciting finish here. We have no more bowling going on in front of us. We still got a few folks finishing up, but Eric, we're going to go ahead and...
Some huge games at the end here.
They really opened up and scores got high. We got to see a lot of strikes here at the end. A 300 by Paul McCordick.
Well, his side didn't open up.
He just made fantastic shots.
He threw a great game there.
Like you said, he turned into a robot at the end there.
Yeah, talking about repeating shots.
But that's going to do it for us right now from Bowl TV. We're going to go ahead and turn the cameras off here. We'll get the stats together and we'll get some information up on bowl.com later today. But be sure to tune in tomorrow. The top 8 competitors from the Super Senior Classic will return. We'll be live streaming the rest of the coverage starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. The Cashier's Round, 4 games to determine the top 5 to advance to the step ladder finals. That'll start at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on Bowl TV. So Eric, thanks for stepping in today and giving us some great insight throughout.
Thanks for having me.
We got to see a lot of strikes, some records, 300, and now we're going to say goodbye. So on behalf of Eric Pearson, I'm Aaron Smith and Matt Cannizzaro as well. We are signing out.